Hey guys, welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. And so this week we're going to talk about some books I finished off the long list of the Booker Prize. I believe in a few days they're going to shorten it down to 6 books. So I have read a total of I believe 6. So these two. So I've read Universality, The South, Flesh, Flashlight, and these two. And I'm starting 7th. So I guess that would be 6 I read, 7 coming. And there's one coming today. I'm hoping that in these 8 books, at least 3 or 4 of them is on the short list. I have a feeling, I feel great about 3. The rest, not sure. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit about some crafting stuff, my mom's dress, all that good stuff. So let's go and start with Audition by Katie Kitamura. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I could say for sure the booker likes books that are can have a talking piece where it can be interpreted in many different ways. Books that are going to have you puzzle at time, but then like have this this metaphor that you can really like dig in a conversation piece. And this is what you get with this. It is short, but it's told in 2 ways. And how the book started out, it was just like, okay, this we're talking acting people, writing people, that kind of setup. But it started where this woman is in this meet up with this man, and this man is saying that he's her son, and she's like, that's impossible. And then you learn why it's not possible. But then there is this idea of this person open up the windows in the other part of the book of you letting things in. And there were some bizarre things happening that as a person who can't stand character like that, I was very much like, what? That was my reaction a lot of times. Like, but it is meant to trigger certain things of what we allow in our life, what we allow based on one, possible great regret, possible wants, possible the fixer to internal problem, or fixer to relationship problem, or all these things that you could possibly think about what that was happening. There is this particular death that is like huge in the way, and what it means in this story, or in letting things in your space and somewhat don't have no control over it after you let in your space. There's that conversation piece. I do feel, because of how I am not a fan of characters like the female in this, it was hard for me to like really just get the whole like little things that were happening. Stories the lights. There's a part where she's coming home and what the apartment looked like. There's little things that I'm envisioning the space of how where the table was in the house, and what does it mean when there's a moment when it felt like it was enormous, and then in the moment it's like she's talking about it as if it fits in and it made sense, kind of deal. There's a lot of that happening that I was just like, I can't stand the character. Because why are you allowing this? Like, I want to shake them. But it's, again, the metaphor of the book. Yeah. Talk piece. It probably will make the short list. Is it my favorite? Absolutely not. But do I feel like this is a book that the booker would root for? Absolutely. Because it is a talk piece book. You will have conversation about this book. And again, short, but real good in terms of the writing. You got to get into this. Let me know how you feel. Let me know how you feel about this one. The next book, at first I was wondering how this book even got to the long list. And it's also the book that triggered a few people in the Caribbean, and that is Love Forms, and this is by Claire Adam. Now, I've read her first book, which is Golden Child, which was an okay read for me. So I kind of felt like, okay, I don't really have this, for her. I just want to read it. And also, she's Caribbean, so I'm always supporting a Caribbean book. This book also had some conversations that weren't that great, which I understand. So I'm going to get into that. But overall, I liked this book. I thought it was an interesting way to talk about when one give up a child and what it does to them. And you have in this a 16-year-old living in Trinidad. She is described as white, Trinidadian, and how she you learn how she got pregnant and the choices that she made. Ultimately, in the beginning, it felt like, well, at 16, your Caribbean parents, yeah, they would have forced you. But ultimately, you learn not the case in this. But there's that whole idea of she made that choice. They ship her ass to Venezuela, and she had a child there, and that was it. Then she spent her life somewhat having a good life, the marriage, the kids, but living the life always feeling empty because that child, you don't know where that child is. You don't know what kind of life that child had. There's that bond that will never go away. And she lived her life kind of in a shell of regret. And it affects everyone around her in different ways. And she is just like focused on finding that child. And now we're talking, she is now 58. The child will be around 42. So she's using all these social media outlets. She's using everything that is modern now that are allowing people to have that reunion. But what I did like about this in terms of that is, oftentimes in books, the focus is a lot on the reunion. The focus is a lot on you find that person and you see it, oh, the happy ending, they found the person, blah, blah, blah. Even on shows where they talk about things like this, adoptions, you find that a lot of time it is focused on the happy ending. But what about if you never find a person? What about if you are spending your entire life searching? How does that help you? How does that fit into your mindset of healing? Are you ever going to be healed? Those are the questions you get in this book, and I like that part of the book. Now, the question about the writing, and there is that one person that we all know that made a comment, who's this book for? Because of the fact that she's living in London, she's far removed from her home because of what it represents from her past. She writes the story as if you've never been to the Caribbean, you've never been to Trinidad, you have never been on a beach, you have never experienced certain cultural things in the Caribbean. That's how the story is written. So there's that idea of you are in that country and the book is just not connecting to you because of those things. And that's how she wrote it. She is very older, kind of naive personality. She's also have moments of that she doesn't get about herself, about her family, about her children. And then there's always that moment in this where she's over explaining things to the reader about things that I think most of us that are already Caribbean would know, and maybe perhaps people who are not would get. But again, it is written as if you have never set foot in Trinidad. You have never set foot in any Caribbean island. You don't know what a beach look like, a real beach. Look like. And I think that can be frustrating when you are wanting to be in have that reminiscent and that bond with a book that represents your culture. It can be off-putting, but nevertheless, I felt the story was strong enough for me to overshadow some of that, and that's what I would say about this book. Now, again, in the beginning, I did not feel like it was a Booker kind of book. I was kind of wondering, but I think it's a storyline. The storyline, when you think of all the other books that I've read, it's similar in terms of the character's withdrawal from things. The character life is just going. When I think of Flesh, that book is still on me. I still feel a certain way about that book, and and what it represents. And I think when I think of all the different characters, even in the South, there's that moment of their life is just going. It's just life is just happening to them, and they're regardless if they feel like they have control of things. That's what you get in this. Life is just happening. She's just living, but living in where this empty space that she can't fill back up because she doesn't know where that child is. And that's what I get from this. That's the best way to describe it. And yeah. So that's the 2 books that I finished. So again, we down to 6, right? My calculation 6. So I am currently getting into misinterpretation, and this one is really an interpreter. And the first thing you learn in the beginning is if you're an interpreter and your client has triggering or similar things that you shouldn't take that client. With this main character, I didn't learn that yet. So I'm curious to see what connection, what is she from her past. She is asylum. She's seeking asylum. She's worked in very high political environment. Her spouse is, the things that's happening with spouse is a little weird. She also likes to let people in her space for whatever reason. That's what I'm getting at this. I'm not that far. Literally, I'm on chapter 4, but I want to get to this. The other book that's coming, that's supposed to be today, if it comes, I'll probably pick it up, because that book, I know is going to be messy. I just know it's going to be messy. And it's because of the similarity that it says to another book. I'm here for the messy. I'm here for the messy. So we're going to get to that one as well. And that's as far as books go. Now, as far as craft, you guys know my mom's dress. My mom's dress was a hit. Thank you guys for you watched the shorts and you saw it. She looks very regal. I love the hair. I had to do her hair up and make it look very, she just looked regal. I love it. That was a very proud moment, and I love that she enjoyed wearing it and she talks about it. She is still talking about it because there are people, her friends, and we have family members that she has sent pictures to and videos of, and they all like, yeah. It is very much, for me, it is one of those moments of feeling accomplished and proud, because I love sewing. I love art and craft. It is my piece, and with all the things that's happening that we're experiencing right now, it is my escape. It's my way of relaxing my mind and not thinking about so much of the negatives. So I'm feeling really, really, really proud about that dress, and I love that she loved it. She had a really good time on her birthday. She's still celebrating. I am like her. We don't celebrate just one day. We will celebrate multiple days. So I was here for it. So I decided to come home and start working on some stuff, because and then I need to start working on my own birthday dress, which is going to be 2 dresses I'm going to be working on, but I didn't start yet. And plus I need to wash the fabric for one dress, and the other dress I did not get the fabric yet. So that might be something I do this weekend, or I might have to really dig in the closet to see, because I know I have fabrics that I can use for the other dress. Nevertheless, here we are. So I made this jacket. Now you remember when I did the haul and how excited I was for this jacket. All right, looking at this jacket, you can't really tell what it's supposed to be from the haul because of the fabric. I changed my mind. I was going to make a blazer, and then I said, I'm going to do this jacket because I feel like it's different. It's not popular. And then with this print and this fussy situation, it's just going to look different. So this was an easy Vogue pattern. This is Vogue 9347. So you guys remember this. Remember how excited I was. So I made you but because of how like this pattern, and of course I wouldn't wear it like how it is on the thing because it's supposed to be neck up kind of deal. I just have to put the buttons in. So I got to put the buttons in, which is just 2 buttons, and these are the buttons. Now I like these black buttons because it's just gonna kind of fit in and it's not gonna be too obvious which is, you know, because I think for now, because it's not cold yet, it's not cool like this week, and I was gonna wear it this week. I'm not sure if I'm gonna wear it again because I feel like the weather is calling for hot. So I'm not sure yet, but nevertheless, if it's not, it's definitely going to be worn for my birthday week. So you will see me in that. Love how it's looking. I mean, it's nice. It is nice. And it's very much in your face kind of reaction that I'm loving it. If you guys have not been following my Instagram, follow my Instagram, because I show you guys the process of me doing a lot of this. And then I decided to go to my another easy pattern, which is New Look. I haven't made this pants so many times. It's New Look 6781. I've made this pants so many times, but I hacked the heck out of it this time around. So this pants now is like it's a balloon bottom. And then I lengthened the waist to, I added an inch and a half to the waist so the band will be thicker. So if it doesn't show, it's probably not. And then I added waistband to it. So it doesn't look like this, but this is what I love about the fact that I'm exploring and trying different things, is taking patterns and hacking them, taking patterns and making them look different. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to do this pants again, but in a different fabric, and widen the hip part down to almost the ankle. No, but at the knee to give it more of a balloon shape, and do the same kind of setup as this, but in a different fabric. That is a goal. I am also going to, because I know my mom is going to absolutely love this. There's no if and buts. She's going to love this. I'm going to make her one, but I want to get a thicker fabric that she can wear a little longer, because one of the things that I love about this is you can make it in any fabric, and it all depends on how heavy you want it to be. And so I'm going to make it in a heavier fabric that she can wear when it gets cool. She could probably get away with it all the way to maybe November, but I'm going to get a thicker fabric for this. This is easy. I would say this is probably about 2.5-3 hours. This is, yeah. If I cut it the night before, and then this is what all of this was done in one day of me going to work in the morning, just getting it up and doing this. This is easy. This is not hard. And when they say easy, they meant it. Easy, very easy, Vogue. It is easy. It looks complicated because all the pieces, but it's really not. It's easy. The only thing that to me that could be a little time consuming is the gathering of the sleeve. Doing the gathering and stitching over. It's probably the most like time consuming part. But everything else is 1, 2, 3 piece, the neck 4, and of course the sleeve 5, 6. The sleeve has 2 parts, so it's not a lot of pieces. So yeah, so I'm going to finish that. I've been doing my tracing. The tracing wheel is still a win. Still my favorite gadget that I bought, I could say, this year. I'm trying to think of all. This too, and my ruler. I'm gonna do a video at the end of the year for Vlogmas of some of my favorite tools that I purchased this year. But for sure, this is definitely on the list. Absolutely a game changer. So glad I got it. So I'm gonna end this video here. I will be at Brooklyn Book Festival this Sunday. So if you happen to be in Brooklyn and you are going to be at the festival, can't speak, hit me up and maybe I can meet you somewhere. For sure, Clay Adams gonna be there, and Flashlight, I said Susan Chow, I think, yes, is the author. She is going to be there, and there are 4, I think, S.B. Cosby, S.A. Cosby, yeah. I've met him before, but I never read his book at the time. But now that I've read about 3 books, I believe, from him, yeah, The list is long, guys. I don't know if you ever done a Brooklyn Book Festival. The list is long, and there's multiple panels that's happening at the same time. You kind of have to go through it and look and see which one you want to attend. So I've been trying to look at the list today. I'm going to go through the list again today, so I can pack the books that I want to bring with me and try to navigate how I'm doing the panels. But for the most part, there's not one author that I'm like really want to see this year, because I've met a lot of them already. It's just a matter of just going and see what they're talking about. I do want to see. I'm interested in how she's inspiration, and the fact that that's something I'm probably, if I ever get to ask, I don't know, because I don't really like talking and asking questions about why she chose how she writes it, in terms of as if you never been there, never been to Caribbean, like what, you know, that whole writing style. She chose to tell the story like, yeah, and even Flashlight, I there's questions I have, because you remember how I felt about the end of that book. There's questions, so I'm hoping some of these questions are posed by people that attend, so I don't have to be like, oh yeah, you know. Even though I'm not shy, I'm really not shy, guys. I'm really not shy. Anyway, all right, guys, I will see you in the next one. Let me know how you like this, and then also watch my shorts that's coming up, because I will be styling these pants. I'm not sure yet the top that I'm going to do if I don't wear this, because if I wore this I was going to wear like just a regular white tank top inside, and have this open, but I don't know yet. So, but I'll style it, and you guys will see. And I will be back, and this will be week 4 of me driving and get exhausted every Monday when I come home and have to go to work. I will get a break after this weekend, and I'm gonna really enjoy having a break and not having to do this weekend traveling to hang out with the parents and doing fun things. Yeah, that's September for you. Anyway, all right, guys, see you in the next one. Bye.